Hello and welcome to YHELPtalk with Taylor. Today we're here with Miss Joy Anderson, an English teacher who will be helping us with going back to school. Hello.
Hello.
So tell us about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm Joy Anderson, and I've been teaching for about 17 years. I've been in Prince George's County Public Schools, Arlington County Public Schools, and now I'm in Charles County Public Schools. And I teach high school. I've taught everything in high school for English, English 9, 10, 11, 12, AP Lang, AP Lit, journalism, yearbook, grammar.
What made you want to become a teacher?
Well, when I was in college, I went into University of Maryland Eastern Shore, and I was undecided. And I had a teacher that gave us an assignment to teach a lesson on writing essays. And after I gave my lesson, she said, "You're going to be a teacher." And she said, "Go change your major." And she gave me the paperwork, and I filled it out.
How do you become a teacher?
So the first step is that you do have to have a degree. So you need to find a 4-year college that has a teaching, preferably a teaching path, and you have to be certified. So you have to take a test, and it's a 2-part test called the Praxis. Depending upon your area, you can have elementary, middle, high school, and even college. And you take that test, and it's about an hour and a half. And you have to have a certain number of points per state to get certified, and you go on from there.
What can students do to prepare for this school year?
So as a high school English teacher, the first thing is that you are pretty prepared. You've already gone through elementary and middle school. So you have the skills that you need, so be confident in those skills. Be ready to work once you get there, because teachers are ready to teach you once you get there. I tell parents and students that you need to read every day, and that's a really basic skill to build on. Read anything that you like, comic books, graphic novels, magazines, things on the internet. But read for at least 30 minutes a day, and that'll build your stamina for reading, that'll build your vocabulary, and it'll build your writing skills as well, because you see the proper way to write and you can mimic that. So the first thing is to read, and just be prepared to do the work that's to come in school.
What are some challenges a student may face this year?
In Charles County, the new policies that are being put in effect, those will be some challenges, just trying to get used to those things. But with any challenge, there's always an answer to, and you have a team of people at schools that are willing to help you and willing to work with you in order to work through those challenges. So you have to look at teachers and vice principals and principals and counselors as collaborators. They're there to help you and to move you forward. So use those resources that you have in your schools, and you'll be able to face any challenge that you have.
What can you do if you're having problems in a class?
Well, the first thing is to raise your hand and ask the question, like, "I don't understand." I tell parents and students that I'm not a mind reader. I want to be able to help you, but sometimes you have to tell me what you need help with. So the first thing is to really advocate for yourself. Younger students have problems with that because they don't want the attention, and so a lot of times teachers are there, and they'll just be looking around to see your facial expression, to see if there's confusion there. So if there is confusion there, if you do need help, first just ask the teacher. If you don't want to ask during class, send an email, and as a parent, you can do that as well. You can send emails to the teacher to seek help. If the teacher can't help you, then seek a counselor, seek the vice principal or principal. But the first step is always the person that's in the classroom.
Who should you talk to if a friend is feeling stressed about life or school?
Talk to any adult that you come in contact with. If it's not a parent, if it's not a teacher, if it's not a counselor, a vice principal, a coach, someone is there to help that child, and someone's there to help you if you're the friend of that child that needs help. We don't want to see any child hurt themselves. We don't want to see any child do something that they'll regret. So the first thing is to always tell someone. Don't hold it in. It's not a secret. You're not hurting your friend by telling someone. You're helping them. So please tell someone.
How can students avoid peer pressure?
Peer pressure is a part of life. I don't think you're going to avoid it. I think you have to deal with it responsibly. So as you grow up, even adults have peer pressure, and we've learned to deal with the peer pressure, hopefully better, and in responsible ways. So younger kids, elementary, middle, and high school, everyone has a spectrum of peer pressure. But you have to realize that that peer pressure can be overcome by just saying, no, I don't want to do that. And it takes courageousness to say that sometimes. A lot of people don't want to say no. They have a hard time saying no. But no is a powerful word, and be able to use that. Don't be afraid to use the power of no.
How can students avoid their bad habits?
One, you have to recognize that you have a bad habit. So if you know that you don't study, that you don't read, that you don't do homework, is that hurting your grade? Because if it's a negative effect to a habit that you have, then that's a bad habit. Because some habits are good. Some people study. Some people read every day. So those are good habits.
How can students talk to their parents about school?
Tell them what you did for the day. Like, tell them what you're having a problem with. A lot of times, parents and students and kids don't talk about what's going on in their lives. But having dinner at the dinner table and saying, okay, well, what was something good that happened today? What was something bad? Is there anything going on? What do you need help with? What project do you have? So asking those questions are important. As a student or as a child, it's important to tell your parents what's going on in school, especially if you're having a problem or struggling with something in school. You have to let somebody know, and your parents are there to help you along the way, and it's important to voice those concerns to your parents.
How can students be safe at school?
First of all, there are parameters in every school to ensure that you're safe. We have locks on school doors, locks on school classrooms. You have IDs that are coming out this year that are being rolled out in Charles County, and other counties in the DMV already have these IDs. So it's important to utilize the safe measures that we have in place. So wear your IDs if you have an ID. If you wear uniforms, wear your uniforms. Be present in where you are. So noticing your surroundings is very important. And if you see somebody that you don't recognize in your school, you need to tell an adult immediately, because that could be a hazard there. Following directions, being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, because that's the safety measure as well. Because you need to be able to be found if something was to happen, and be accounted for if something was to happen in your schools. So I would like to tell parents and students that your schools are safe, but you need to follow the policies and the procedures that are in place in order to keep you safe.
What if you feel like you don't fit in?
Nobody fits in. You're supposed to be weird, you're supposed to be different, and if you're not different, something's wrong. So I tell that to my children, I tell that to my students. Difference is good. That's what makes everybody is different. And if you're not different, something's wrong. Nobody should be conforming to being something that they're not. So be who you are, stand out, stand straight, and be different.
Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at YHELPnow. And is there anything else you'd like to say?
I have a tutoring company, and so if anybody's out there that needs help with or assistance with anything from elementary, middle to high school, and even college students, my company is Joyful Learning Experiences. I do summer packets, I do tutoring in person and online, and I would love to help you.
See you next time. Bye.